In this video, I'm going to show you how to install this windshield, the 10-inch from Harley Davidson for the Lowrider ST. I'm also going to be doing a riding comparison between the stock windshield and this 10-inch to see if there is really a difference or not. So stay tuned. All right, so I do have the stock fairing set up. And I'm about 52, I'm gonna crank it up to about 53 miles an hour. And this is kind of a lot of the riding I do. And right now, you'll see like right here, right about my visor, top of my visor is where all the wind is hitting me. And it's not giving me any head buffeting or anything like that. It's just a lot of wind noise in my helmet, which isn't a big deal under 50 miles an hour. But when you go over 50 miles an hour, you really start hearing and noticing that wind noise. It's really loud on the highway. So I really definitely want to see where kind of that wind is, because you'll see like right here there's nothing, but right here is where I start feeling that wind, and it's coming directly in right above my visor. So let's go ahead and install the 10-inch Harley Davidson windshield, and then we'll take it out and see how it does. All right, so here is the new windshield directly from Harley Davidson. And you obviously see it is a very light smoke, so it's not quite clear. It's got a little bit of tint to it, but not much. And the cool thing is it already came pre-installed with the grommets, so don't have to mess with those to take off the old windscreen. So we just take this T27 and unscrew all of these right here. All right, we should just be able to lift these up out of the tabs, just like that. Make sure your gasket here is good and doesn't come off. We're going to go ahead and sit this one down, take our new one, and just line up the holes. And I'm just going to go ahead and hand tighten these initially. I'm just going to tighten them back down. I'm just going to do about a hand tight. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the 10-inch windshield from Harley Davidson installed. You'll see definitely a much more clear windshield, which I like the look of the darker smoked, but they do this for safety reasons. So let's jump on the bike and see how this changes it. So here is the 10-inch Harley Davidson windshield for the Lowrider ST installed. So this is what it looks like from your point of view. My eyes are probably a couple inches above the top of the windshield here. So I know the GoPro sits lower, so it looks like I'm looking through the windshield, but I'm actually looking over it pretty comfortably. So I've been riding with this for about 100 miles or so, just because I wanted to get a good feel for how this changed versus the stock one. And just like we were doing the stock one, we're going about the same miles per hour on the same road. And just for reference, I am 5'10". I have this stock Harley seat on here that came with the bike. And what I've noticed is, one, there is a kind of a loud whistling noise that happens quite a bit. Of course, right now it's not happening, but I'm sure the mic will pick it up at some point. So I don't know what's causing that whistling noise. I don't know if it has to do with somewhere in this front vent, but the stock windshield did not whistle at all, but for some reason this one is, and I'm not sure why. So that does get kind of annoying. If I have my wireless earbuds in listening to music, I can't hear it. But right now, when I don't have any earbuds in or any music going, like right there, you can kind of hear it. And yeah. So other than the whistling noise, how does this 10-inch windshield differ from the 6-inch? Well, the 6-inch was hitting, the wind was hitting my visor at the very top of my helmet. And now it's kind of raised it to where it's no longer hitting my visor, it's hitting kind of the very top of my helmet. So I'm still getting it on me, it's not going up and over, but like, it's definitely raised a couple inches or so where it was actually hitting my helmet. Still do get a lot of wind noise. I think that's what you're gonna get no matter what, especially at these high speeds or higher. One thing I did notice is on the highway, I was feeling a little bit more wind buffeting than I was with the stock one, and I don't know if that's just because of where it's hitting the top of my helmet, but I can definitely feel a little bit of wind buffeting. Nothing too crazy, but that is something that I did notice that I didn't feel before on the stock one. One plus with this windshield being taller is I no longer get bugs on my visor, so that helps, especially this time of day and year. I was getting pelted in the face with bugs, even with the 6-inch windshield. But this one, for some reason, is stopping all that, which is good. So it does stop the bugs from hitting your visor, but it does still, at least for me at 5'10", and the seat I have on here, it still does hit the top of my helmet, but you're still in that same kind of rider pocket. I think on the sides, you know, your pocket is still in the same position. It's just kind of raised up a little bit with this taller windshield. Now, I do prefer the look of the stock one, just because it does sit a little bit lower and is that dark smoke colored. But this one honestly doesn't bother me too much. I've gotten used to it by now. At slower speeds, it does still keep a good job of keeping the wind off of your body, and you know, the wind noise isn't a problem. Probably 45 or under, you just start noticing a lot more wind noise with both of them once you start hitting about 45 plus. And then obviously on the highway it does get a little bit louder. But I'm not sure if the microphone is picking up the whistling noise, but you can definitely hear. So I gotta recheck to make sure everything is on there right. I put it on exactly where all the screw holes lined up and everything, so I'm not sure what's causing this whistling noise. So if you guys have any issues with that, if you've installed this, let me know what you found out. Maybe something easily needs to be adjusted, or I need to tighten something down. I don't want to tighten the screws too tight because one, they didn't seem like they were on there too tight to begin with, but I didn't want to run the risk of cracking the windshield or anything. So I just did kind of like a hand tight on those. So let's jump on the highway real quick just so you can see and listen to what it sounds like. I'm getting a lot of wind noise in my helmet, but that's to be expected. Nothing more than what I was getting when it was with the stock windshield. But luckily the wind has moved up from hitting me directly in my visor up to the top of my helmet, so it's not as big of a deal. Like I said, the wind buffeting isn't bad. Like, it's totally comfortable. If you get a good gust of wind or something, you can kind of feel it hitting your helmet, moving your head around a little bit, but nothing that's crazy to where I'm going to want to switch back or anything. The one good thing is that, again, nothing is hitting me in my visor like it was before. So if I do want to pop up with my visor, say I'm going a little bit slower and want to get some airflow in my helmet just for a little bit, I don't have to worry about, you know, anything flying into my face or anything. So that has been a benefit, especially here in the dead of summer. This helmet gets super hot, especially with this fairing blocking all that wind. So I have found myself needing to open up the visor just to get a little bit of airflow. So this allows that to happen without you worrying about anything flying into your face with that visor open. So would I recommend this one? Yeah, I don't see why not, especially if the wind was kind of hitting you in the visor as well, or if you want to take long road trips and kind of get those bugs off of your helmet. The taller one does help with that. Now, depending on your height, if you're a little bit shorter than me, then it might go right over the top of your helmet. But yeah, it's definitely something to look at. But hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Any questions, let me know down in the comments. You can purchase this directly from Harley's website, or if your dealer has it available. Super easy to install. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So if you guys like this kind of content, hit that like and subscribe button so you'll be notified when we come out with more videos on the Lowrider ST.